In 2014, Daniela Rosner and Morgan Ames published a paper on designing for repair. They argued that repair is not something designers can script in advance. By examining cases when actual repair practices differ drastically from what was intended by the technologists. The gist is that if you want a device to be repairable, it's quite challenging to inscribe that into the device, even the device and its documentation. So we looked at a group of 4 community networks in Cordoba, Argentina, where the people who design the networking technology are constantly involved in helping other community members repair their devices. The main point of this paper is for people who want to build repairable technology that there are effective strategies, but they go beyond simply modifying a device and instead are about the technologist's role in a community of practice. What we're talking about here is very different from the way that Apple supports repair of consumers' devices at Apple stores, for instance. Instead, we're looking at repair largely done by novices who have joined the community network to get internet service or to support the mission. It's a local community of practice that comes together on WhatsApp groups, reunions, and assemblies to plan repairs and get support from each other. The role of the technologists here in supporting repair goes far beyond the device. Instead, they are trying to nurture a community of practice that is accessible to as many people as possible. A traditional repair mindset is that breakdown is bad and we should try to get things working again without delay. There was a key moment in our interviews that illustrated an alternate mindset among members of Altermundi. In La Bolsa Libre, the backhaul antenna connects to another antenna on a mountain a few kilometers away. A few months before our interviews, a storm had knocked the mountaintop antenna out of alignment, and since then, the community network has been disconnected. In our interview with Alejandro, one of the La Bolsa Libre members, we discussed their plans to realign the antenna. Our research team was initially eager to join in the trip up the mountain to do the repair. But when Alejandro said that the La Bolsa Libre community had already organized themselves to conduct the repair, Nicolas Pache from Altermundi told us not to join. He explained that repair is an opportunity for learning, that realigning this antenna is not just a social activity, but a challenge with pedagogical value. Community members learning to repair was understood to contribute to long-term network operation as much as, if not more than, the repair itself. If we, the research team, had intervened to simplify the process, we would be denying them a chance to exercise their technical problem-solving capacities and to expand their experience. So this means that breakdown is not just a source of frustration to be dealt with, it is a resource in this socio-technical system. Breakdown brings people together because they have a shared interest in getting the routers working again, and it can be a valuable learning opportunity. This idea gets us to the title of our paper. The network is an excuse, hardware maintenance supporting community. This is a quote from Manel, who told us in one of our final interviews, quote, "It is a social relation thing. That's the most important thing of the network. It's not internet. The network is an excuse. That's what I understand and why I am part of it. For sure, there are more points of view, but that's what I think." So Manel is in it not for the internet access, but for the community that is created through doing the work. This is in line with something many interviewees expressed, a desire for broad participation in collective work. And this is sort of a political vision that motivates a lot of the involvement in these community networks. So it's very interesting then when a storm knocks an antenna out of alignment, like in the La Bolsa Libre example, that this breakdown triggers broad participation in collective work. In La Bolsa Libre, the members of the network hadn't seen each other much over the summer, and the trip to realign the mountain antenna was not just going to be about taking care of business or learning. They were going to have a barbecue and bring their families. I think that sort of community is what Manel is referring to when he says the network is an excuse. So I think our core contribution with this study is this mindset that breakdown is not just a problem, it is a resource, both for learning and for building community. If you want to learn more, please take a look at our paper. It's available for free on my website. There are loads more detail in there. You can read about, for example, the referentes in the community networks whose role involves supporting others with technical issues, or about how Altermundi makes design decisions with the goal of making repair an effective learning experience. This study is based on interviews with 15 community network members across 4 networks in Cordoba, Argentina. These were Quintana Libre, La Bolsa Libre, La Serenita Libre, and Anisacate Libre. Our collaborator, Altermundi, supports all of these networks and is based in La Quintana with the largest of the 4. The networking technology developed by Altermundi includes LibreMesh and LibreRouter. A couple caveats to our study: this analysis is only based on discussions with community network members about what they do. We didn't actually get to observe any repairs or community network meetings due to time constraints and because of our decision not to join the trip up the mountain. Though we did get to meet with some of the community network members after writing a draft of the paper to get their feedback on it to check for accuracy. My co-authors are Esther Jang from University of Washington, Michael Lithgow from Athabasca University, and Nicol from Altermundi. From University of Washington, I'm Philip Garrison. Please check out our CSCW 2021 paper, The Network is an Excuse, Hardware Maintenance Supporting Community.